Okay, welcome to the techrite Controls website. This is a short instructional video on setting up our techrite fitting line tester. Just remember that this needs to be installed by authorised personnel in accordance with all the local gas and electricity codes. Now, the two main components of the system are our control panel here and our valve, which comes pre-fitted with two pressure switches, one on the inlet, one on the outlet. The pressure switch is a Dung's pressure switch. It's a little dial here to adjust it. It's in millibar. 10 millibar equals 1 kPa. And there's also a diagram on the end here, which just tells us what our wiring on our plug is. In this case, we need to be across the normally open contacts, so we'll be across pins 3 and 2. Okay, we've also got our panel here. Just in case somebody loses the wiring diagram that comes in the brochure, there's also another diagram inside the front cover here. So if somehow the diagram's misplaced, there's always a copy of it in here. So to set up the system, the first thing we need to know is what our operating pressure is. Now, in this case, we're going to be operating at 1.1 kPa. So our two pressure switches need to be set up accordingly. Now, the inlet pressure switch needs to be set at 20% below our operating pressure. So we'll be looking at a little bit over 0.8 of a kPa. So we've already set this pressure switch at the back here, which is the inlet side. That's already set on a little bit over 8 millibar. Our outlet pressure switch has got to be set at 10% below the operating pressure. So we're going to be at a little bit below 1 kPa, so this is set at just under 10 millibar. So that all should be sweet. Now, we might as well fire the thing up. At this stage, of course, everything's turned off. We've got no gas. Now, at this stage, I've got this tap open. So basically, all the gas is going to escape, so we won't be able to make our outlet pressure switch, but we'll just demonstrate that now. Turn the power on. So we're just in lockout, neither of the pressure switches are made. This light here indicates the state of the inlet pressure switch. This one indicates the state of the outlet pressure switch. So we turn the gas on, we make our inlet, the valve opens, only opens for about a second to try and pressurise the system, but it can't do it because the gas is escaping straight away. So when we're running this, we need to make sure that everything downstream is turned off. Everything with a pilot in it, everything's got to be turned off, so the system is going to be sound. So I'll do that now by closing this. So as you can see, now this pressure switch is made, the outlet pressure switch, because our system is now locked up. We've got our manometer here, so we can see, if we are getting a leak, we can put our manometer on to see what's going on. It's pretty hard to set one of these up without a manometer, so it's a good idea to have one with you. Now that the two pressure switches are made, the system's going to wait for 60 seconds to make sure that we don't get any leaks. If either of these switches open in that 60-second period, the system's going to say, hey, we've got a leak somewhere, it's going to lock out. So at this stage, this is turning on and off about once a second. So after that first 60 seconds, it will wait a further 60 seconds. In the second 60-second period, this will slow down to about once every 2 seconds. Now, once it goes into the run mode, we won't look at our inlet pressure anymore. We'll only look at the inlet. Sorry, the outlet will be ignored once it goes into run. So we just have to wait for it to go by. Now, to reset the system at any time, you've got a key switch on the side. You can either do it by using the key switch, or turn the mains power off to the unit, and that will, once the main power returns, it will go through this whole reboot and testing sequence again. So if you've got any emergency stops in your room, because ideally you'll be using this in a school science room or a home ec lab or something like that, in a boiler room or a commercial kitchen, and you might have a few emergency stops around the room, well, you'll have those emergency stops wired in series with the supply of this unit. So that as soon as you hit one, and once that switch is reset, the system will go through this rechecking phase to make sure your fitting line's still sound. So any second now, this should change. There we go, right on its cue. Now we're in run mode. at this stage, if our outlet pressure switch opens, it doesn't matter, because once your appliances are being turned on and off, you know, your pressure in the line is going to go up and down a little bit, so you may get to 10% below the operating pressure, but that's okay. You can see there that's gone off, but yeah, we're still running. It's okay. So we'll make that again. The reason we keep looking at the inlet pressure switch is that we figure that if you drop below 20% of your operating pressure, you've got a severe leak somewhere, or perhaps your fitting line's severely undersized. You can download the brochure for this if you haven't already got one from the website you're on now. And I think that's about it. Thank you for watching.